Hi, I'm Free the Kiwi. Not kiwi as in the fruit, not really the bird either, but I'm from New Zealand and we name ourselves after our national bird, and so we call ourselves Kiwis. So that's why I'm Free the Kiwi. And I'm a gamer and I've been playing World of Warcraft for about 14 years now. And it's been a bit of a interesting time as a World of Warcraft player lately. There has been a lot of drama with Blizzard over the years, and recently it's took quite a turn. So there's been a lot of controversy, scandal, lawsuits, and a lot of people have been asking how I felt about that as a World of Warcraft player. And it's a really difficult thing to answer. Obviously, I'm not feeling good about it. My perspective might be a little bit different to some other people in terms of I don't feel that it's realistic to assume that the kind of misogyny and sexism that's happening within Blizzard is just solely happening within Blizzard. It's an industry problem. Really, I don't feel that I should stop playing a game that I enjoy and love just because there are men out there who have been behaving really badly. I try to stay away from this kind of controversy with regards to video games. I just like to play the games that I enjoy and enjoy them. I prefer not to get wrapped up in the politics of things because I play a game to escape reality and to be immersed in something that is really enjoyable. I really feel that I shouldn't be making a decision about whether I continue to play solely based on this alone. However, I've been playing World of Warcraft for 14 years and I've dabbled in a few other MMORPGs. I know that I like the genre. I play other games as well, but I find that my MMORPG, which is at the moment that's World of Warcraft, is my main meal, shall we say. And the other games that I play are like little desserts or sweets and things that I just have occasionally, right? So choosing the MMORPG that I'm going to invest my time into is important. It's an important decision. So I really wanted to take a good look at a few options and make a decision based on a few different factors. And I am going to be trying out these games and I am going to be recording my experience playing these games and my thoughts about them and in more detail. But for now, I'm just going to do a really basic kind of analysis, if you'll call it that, on these games that I have chosen to have a look at. The list of games that I'm going to be looking at, starting from the most populated, is Final Fantasy XIV. And so that has now surpassed the population of World of Warcraft, which is a really big deal. And so it makes me believe that there's something pretty good going on there. I've never played Final Fantasy XIV, so I'm really keen to have a look at it. The next on the list is World of Warcraft, because I am still considering that being my main game. I'm not going to turn my back on WoW just yet, but I am having a look at others as well. The next is Black Desert Online, and that currently has around 600,000 active subscriptions. Elder Scrolls Online has around 400k subscriptions. The next one, New World, is not actually out yet, but the beta testing was a great success, and they had up to 200,000 players playing on that beta testing, so that's really promising. Guild Wars 2, I'm still going to consider it, even though the population has decreased significantly, and at the moment sitting at around 100k. Another MMORPG that I am looking at is actually a Chinese game made by Chinese developers, and it is not pay to win. So I know that a lot of people assume that if a game is developed in China or in Korea that it's going to be pay to win. This one is not pay to win, and it looks pretty cool. As I said, I'll get more in depth into those individual games when I look at them and do an in-depth video or more in-depth video on each of them. Another thing besides population that I want to look at and think about when I'm choosing what game I'm going to put my time and energy into is what is on offer. If I'm going to choose something else, it's going to bring something different to the table, but there's still aspects of gameplay within World of Warcraft that I really enjoy and would feel sad about not continuing. So from the list that I mentioned earlier, these are the games that actually contain dungeons within the game. So World of Warcraft obviously has dungeons, Final Fantasy XIV, Elder Scrolls Online, Swords of Legends, Guild Wars 2, and New World. So Black Desert Online does not have any dungeons within it, but there is word that is coming, so something to watch out for the future maybe. So what we have in terms of options for MMORPGs that do have raids are World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV, Elder Scrolls Online, and Swords of Legends. So the games that do not have raids are Black Desert Online, Guild Wars 2, and New World. However, again, these things could be coming to these games. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about Guild Wars 2 or New World in terms of what they are planning to do in the future, whether they are going to introduce raids. If you know, please let me know, because I would love to know that. But I have read that Black Desert Online is going to be introducing dungeons and raids in the future, so that's again something to watch out for. And then the next thing that I'm wanting to consider is combat style. Now, World of Warcraft has a tab target combat style, and the other games that also have the same kind of combat style are Final Fantasy XIV and then also Guild Wars 2. But with Guild Wars 2, you can actually alternate between an action combat style and a tab targeting combat style, so that's really cool. So just to go over each of the games that I'm looking at individually, just to like put in some brief notes about why I'm wanting to look into them, starting with Swords of Legends. And I've come across Swords of Legends and kind of nearly read it off right away because of the fact that the dubbing for the voice acting in English is quite terrible, hilariously terrible, but maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it's going to be a good laugh. But it does look like it has some really interesting gameplay, and I'm really keen to look at it further. Guild Wars 2. I've played Guild Wars 2 a little bit in the past and really enjoyed it, but my primary focus was always World of Warcraft. So it could be something that I would enjoy, and and especially with a new expansion coming out, that popularity could increase, and so then that could be a good option for me to play. New World. I wasn't part of the beta testing for New World, but I have read and heard a lot of really great things about it. There's some aspects of the gameplay which look really unique and exciting, and I'm really keen to give it a go upon release, which is next month, I believe, in September. Elder Scrolls Online. Elder Scrolls Online has a really rich lore with the Elder Scrolls franchise, and I enjoy playing some of the Elder Scrolls RPG games in the past, so that's something that I might want to consider. Even though Black Desert Online doesn't have the core elements of gameplay that I really enjoy, being dungeons and raids, it has some really interesting things that I'm really curious about. I have to admit, one of the things that I think is really cool is how customizable the character creation is. I think that's really cool, and so that's one thing that excites me, but I haven't really had too much experience with getting really into a sandbox MMO, so that's something that I'm keen to look at and see if I enjoy that. I think that everyone that I know at the moment is jumping on the Final Fantasy XIV bandwagon, and it feels as though it's the next possible option. So I'm not sure. I do have reservations about it, but I'm not going to go into too much detail as to what they are. I will go into more detail about that when I actually start the Final Fantasy XIV trial and give it a go. So I've made this video partly because a lot of people have been asking me whether I'm going to continue to play World of Warcraft and what my feelings are about the whole thing. So it's an easy way to answer that question to everybody all at once so that I don't have to repeat myself. But also, I thought that a lot of people might be in the same position as me right now and are trying to figure out whether they want to stay with World of Warcraft or whether they want to move on to a different MMORPG. So I thought that this could possibly help people decide and maybe point them in the right direction to what they're looking for. I hope that this video has been helpful to some people. I'm actually really excited about looking into some new possibilities and figuring out where to next for my main meal of gaming. Thanks, bye!